professional debut. Hard to believe it's just about a month ago. We're back in Albany for his second professional fight, this time against Trent Singleton. He disposed of Hector Mercedes inside a single round. And the question that most of the ringsiders are asking is, can he do the same thing again? Mike Tyson created the headlines here in the USA last year. Many felt that he should have been the US representative at the Los Angeles Olympics twice, not once, twice. He got beaten in qualifiers by Henry Tillman. It was Tillman who went to Los Angeles. I watched him win that heavyweight gold medal. What people are really already starting to forget is that there was no great medal to win. The Cubans weren't there, the Russians weren't there. If Tyson had been there, trust me, he'd have won a gold as well. It's Tyson in white, Trent Singleton in the blue with a gold trim. We're in round one. Well, we didn't get much of a chance to see Tyson, what he had to offer in his first fight, and already in what, seconds, Singleton touches down. He gets a mandatory 8 under New York State Athletic Commission rules, and already, from what little we've seen of Mike Tyson in his pro career, down goes Singleton again, left hook this time. This boy is tough. Doesn't throw many jabs, comes in, works close, hooks to head and body, and he's just a perpetual motion machine so far. This isn't going to go too long. Trent Singleton in all sorts of trouble. We're already in round one. The referee humanely has seen enough. Tyson shrugs almost as if disappointed that the fight is over so quickly, walks back to his corner. There's Kevin Rooney, the corner man. Tyson, so much pent-up energy, still unspent. We're in Singleton's corner. No acting, he's hurt.
That's it. Take it easy out. We want to take a couple rounds. That's it, Mike. We want to see a little action. Take it easy out. Don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. Just cruise it, Mike. Don't hurt him. Cruise it. Don't hurt him. Take it, Mike. That's it.
Yet he's only 5'11 and a half at 217. Mike's last fight was a 4-round knockout over Don Haplin, while his opponent in the other corner is Ricky Spain. He too went into the 4th round and got a knockout over Steve Allred. That was his first fight, however, in about 3 years. That came on December the 4th. So here he is after a 6-month layoff going against the Baby Bull and Mike Tyson. And Tyson, with that big, strong arm strength, goes right at Ricky Spain.
Mike Tyson, a fine amateur, though. He only had 17 fights, 15 and 2. His only 2 losses. Oh, good right hand. Down goes Spain. Well,
right hand is a strong one for Mike Tyson. I asked him what he felt his best punch was, and he said whatever hits him, and his right hand got Spain in a lot of trouble. And now Joe O'Neill is going to make the decision if he's going to let Spain continue. And here comes Tyson again. He got him with the left hand, and he's out of here. It is over.
Fight number 11 for Mike Tyson, Sterling Benjamin. The opponent, Tyson, in the dark blue trunks with the white trim. Sterling Benjamin in the red. Last fight, Atlantic City, bit of a come down now. We're in Latham, New York State. We're in round 1, Tyson's 11th fight. 10 wins, 7 inside round 1. Did I say 7? Make that 8, perhaps, in fight number 11. The count is 5. And Sterling Benjamin just beats the count. On they go. Is he going to make the bell? Somehow, you know, I just kind of doubt it. There's only so much punishment anybody can take. That is the limit of Sterling Benjamin's endurance. The referee was just about to step in anyway.
I was a little leery. I knew I was in there with a good fighter that went the distance with some good fighters, and I was planning on just putting the pressure on him from the beginning to the end. I planned on coming out with a jab because I watched him in the DeWitt fight, and he was countering with the right hand good. And coming in the first round, I got grazed with a right hand, and from then on, I know to slip my head and just keep coming forward.
As for Benjamin, well, he was thoroughly impressed.
He have a sledgehammer, man. You know, when I go down there, I feel it. He really hit hard. It's the hardest I ever been hit.
It is the hardest here.
The hardest of my whole career, man.
They keep lining him up, and Kid Catskill keeps knocking him down, and there will be no let-up for Mike Tyson either.
He goes to Houston on the 13th. He's going to fight some Texas champ that I think the guy's Richardson is his name. I don't know anything about him. They're supposed to have a film. But again, as long as Mike can hit them, if he hits them clean, they're going to go.
So Mike Tyson continues to be a very busy man, but it's getting harder and harder now to find anybody who wants anything to do with him. I mean, no fighter wants to get run over by a truck.
Apple of New York City, Mike Tyson. Your referee, Barry Yates.
Well, as we've told you, Tyson has had 10 fights, but very few of them go past the first round, Mickey Herskowitz.
Well, you're looking at a very interesting and complicated matchup. Eddie Richardson is 6'6" against Mike Tyson, who is described as 5'11", looks closer to 5'10" because of the squarishness of his build. Going to be a really fascinating contest to see how Richardson attempts to use that advantage in height and reach.
Castiamato, of course, right hand by Tyson. Oh my! First punch he threw.
What took him so long?
Eddie Richardson, looking at the referee, is in much disbelief as we are.
Eddie Richardson said he was going to go after him and test him, and he may have made a very serious error in strategy right there.
Tyson is a little icebox rather than a refrigerator, yeah. I'll tell you what.
Well, he has a 19 3/4" neck, which is approximately the size of actress Shelley Duvall's waist.
And you certainly see the punching power in Tyson.
One of the real rising stars in the boxing galaxy today, Mike Tyson, a fellow for whom everybody predicts a great future. If they can find some fights, then...
That left hand almost drove Richardson right through the canvas.
He not only knocked him down, but he absolutely carried him through the air.
And it's over.
I see right now a major flaw and problem in Mike Tyson's career, and that's going to be to have a fight that lasts long enough to get some good footage on him.
I'm telling you what, it's hard to do. Mike Tyson, without a doubt, one of the bright stars in the heavyweight picture, now goes to 11-0 with 11 knockouts. It was the first punch thrown in the fight. There you see Eddie Richardson. Wow, it just turned his head around on his neck, and Richardson looks up and goes, I can't believe it. And now the knockout. A left hook, a la Frazier, and down goes Richardson. And you know, he throws it from the same crouch Frazier does.
And of course, Smokey Joe is the fighter to whom Tyson has been most compared. Tyson, very gallantly, gentlemanly, coming over to check the condition of his opponent.
He went over and picked Richardson up after they counted him out.
You know, Billy, it's a real challenge to try to remember fighters at this stage, 19 years old, that pack the power this young kid does. Marciano, I don't know. It would really be
yeah, I would have to go back to Marciano, and then, of course, he was a little older than that, Mickey. It's hard to imagine. Henry Tillman defeated Tyson twice in the amateur ranks.
And in the Olympic trials.
In the Olympic trials. And Tillman, I don't think he wants any part of Tyson anymore. Let's go up to ring announcer Gordon Wood for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Barry Yates counts out the Southern boxing champion Eddie Richardson in 1-1-7 of the first round. The winner, and now 12-0, not 11-0, 12-0, 12 straight knockouts, Mike Tyson.
Fight number 13 for Mike Tyson. We're back in Latham. It's the same Mike Tyson. It is not the same camp. This is his second fight since the tragic death of Castiamato on the 4th of November. This is the 22nd. And we're against an opponent who just might be the one to test him. In all Tyson's early fights, well, in his latter fights anyway, I've said that we really need to see a better class of opponent. And I think we might have got that tonight in the shape of Conroy Nelson, who's been in with some good fighters. Conroy Nelson, Canadian, ranked number 2 in the Canadian heavyweight scene. As I said, he's been in with some good fighters. He's fought Razor Ruddock. He lost on a disqualification to Razor Ruddock. No, I lie. He went the distance with Razor Ruddock, 10 rounds. He lost his next fight in London. I should know that. I saw it, disqualification against Noel Corliss, the Liverpool boy, in 7 rounds in Bloomsbury. But he's been in, as I say, with some decent opposition. He's fought for the Canadian title against Trevor Berbick. Berbick stiffed him in 2. Berbick is a world-class fighter. So if anybody is going to test Mike Tyson, Conroy Nelson is just the right sort of opponent at this stage of his career. The cornerman you might have seen wearing the ring jacket of former world light heavyweight champion Matthew Saad Muhammad from a few years back. Tyson just looks awesome, doesn't he? This, as I say, fight number 13 of the previous 12. 9 have been won inside a round. In fact, I was there when he was stretched by Don Halpin, 4 rounds in his 3rd fight. So here we go then, round 1. Both boys in white. Tyson with the red trim, and Nelson with the black. Nelson, as I say, has to use his height and reach to just keep Tyson at bay. Try and draw the sting for the first 2 or 3 rounds, because we know how dangerous Tyson can be early on. And Nelson on his bike early, guard held high, peekaboo style. Won't want to let it drop. And Nelson can hit. Tyson needs to be a little bit careful this fight. He's been able to get away with liberties in 1 or 2 of his early fights because he has known his opponents cannot hurt him. This is not the case in this fight. If Nelson gets an opening, Nelson can bing one in. Touchdown briefly there, thanks to body shots. The right knee just clipped the canvas. Oh, he's shaky. He's so shaky, and we're only in round 1. And this is a good fighter. I can hardly believe what I'm seeing. Sit down, please, sir. Thank you. This is the trouble when we're crammed in alongside spectators at ringside. Somebody gets excited and stands up in front of the camera. We can't see. More importantly, you can't see. Tyson can see. Tyson likes what he's seeing. Well, while our vision was momentarily obscured, Nelson seems to have recovered a little bit of equilibrium. In fact, he comes back with a short chopping right of his own there, gets through, but he's covering up very, very tightly now. If he was under any illusions just how good a puncher Mike Tyson was, those illusions will have been sorely shattered. Tyson just falling centimetres short with that big arcing right. Referee just letting him get on with it. Just a little word. Don't keep it too close, boys. Well, Nelson, after a real alarming wobble midway through, might be getting through this first round, but he hasn't looked convincing, has he? Tries to come back with a spearing lift of his own, but Tyson left uppercut gets through, and once again Nelson looks a little bit confused, dazed and confused. That term might have been coined for Conroy Nelson tonight. In Latham, hard to think that Tyson, I watched his pro debut, it's 6th of March, it's what, 22nd of November now. Boy, is he coming on, and boy, is he making an impact in the heavyweight division. Nelson hurt, needs a breather. I think that punch might have been a little bit low. The referee allowing Nelson just a moment or 2 to recover himself. Gets clipped with a left on the belt. And somehow, well, the ref comes over, says, just keep your punches up. Kevin Rooney tries to wave him off. The referee says, I'm in charge here. Okay, we're in the 2nd. And once again, it's all Tyson. And Nelson, who was in deep trouble, is in deeper trouble as the left hook, which is fast becoming a Tyson trademark, sends him down. The gum shield has been spat out. Nelson says, that's it, thank you very much. I think discretion, the better part of valor there. Conroy Nelson spat the gum shield out, walked back to his corner. Well, fight number 13, unlucky 13? I don't think so. 13 fights, 13 wins. At least Nelson got him into the second round. Tyson now observing the post-fight niceties. I thought Conroy Nelson, well, in fact, I wasn't the only one who thought Conroy Nelson would stretch him, and he did, into round 2.
Took Tyson all of 3 minutes and 30 seconds to dispose of the second-ranked Canadian heavyweight, Conroy Nelson. Now, the only reason Conroy didn't get himself a one-way ticket to Balucasville in the first round is that he spent most of his time covering up, while Tyson delivered one wicked body shot after another. I mean, you could hear those punches clear out to the parking lot. I couldn't figure out whether Nelson was there to fight or to give a lesson in survival tactics. Anyway, Tyson finally got to him in the second, setting him up with a sweet overhand right, then taking him out with a vicious left hand. Referee counted him out at 30 seconds of the round.
Very good fighter, experienced fighter, within good fighters. But a friend of mine from Canada called Davey Hilton was telling me about him and about being the clutch he tried the whole time. But he surprised me because he wasn't trying to hold, he was fighting.
I'm going to tell you something. I think he was here to pick up a paycheck. The first round, all he did was cover up.
Well, maybe he was a little leery about the punching power. But again, that's you saying it because you're not fighting. He took some good shots, but anybody else, they would have quit.
Yeah, that right left was devastating.
Thank you very much, sir.
So now Mike Tyson is 13-0, all of his victories coming by knockout, and no bout has gone past the 4th round. So you gotta wonder, when's the KO kid gonna move up in class?
If everything goes the way it's been going, I'd put Mike in the ring in about June or July against somebody in the top 10. But you must remember, once you break into the top 10, you can't go backwards. You can't beat somebody in the top 10 and go back and fight, 8-round fights.
Jim, nobody's looking for Mike to go backwards. No, the sooner he moves against some real class, the better. I mean, this kid doesn't come to box, he comes to terminate.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the fight you have been waiting for, the co-main event. 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Introducing to you in the red corner, from Charlotte, North Carolina, wearing blue trunks with gold trim, weighing in at 206 3/4 pounds with a professional record of 12 wins, 4 losses. 8 of those wins by knockout, Mark Young. And in the blue corner, from Catskill, New York, wearing black trunks, weighing in at 219 pounds, with a professional record of 14 wins, no losses, all wins by knockout, Mike Tyson. Your referee is Sid Rubenstein. 10 rounds heavyweight.
The fighters getting their instructions. There again you see the records. Mike Tyson from nearby Catskill, undefeated. This is a scheduled 10-rounder, Ray Mancini, and for Mike Tyson, he's never seen anything near the 10th round.
I'll tell you, Mike Tyson has come to fight tonight. That's the first time I've seen a main event fighter come in the ring with no robe on. He says, I'm ready to go, and let's just do it.
Well, he has said go to his opponents early in all of his 14 fights.
Right.
If you blink in the first round, you'll probably miss a Mike Tyson fight.
He's a young, strong guy. He jumps right on his opponents. And I think this might be another early stoppage because this guy's been a little wild. He's going to get caught with something.
Mark Young out of Charlotte, North Carolina, comes out swinging.
That jab pushed him back. Oh, this guy is like a ball of granite.
Awesome is an overused word in the 1980s, but Mike Tyson is absolutely awesome. Just sit back and watch, but don't blink because you could miss it. A low right from Young. And down goes Mark Young. A breeze.
That's it.
A little phantom. He's gone. It's over. First round. Mike Tyson of Catskill, New York.
I'd like to see that one myself.
Is 15-0. I would like to see it also.
It was on the opposite side of the ring. And,
well, we said if you blink, you could miss it. Young had taken a punch from Tyson, and then all of a sudden, Young went flying to the canvas. And a happy Mike Tyson, the heavyweight. Highly publicized, highly thought of, now 15-0 and a typical finish early.
You know, Ken, the fans here can't be disappointed. They've had a good night of boxing. I've always said if you get a main event, you got to support it with a good semifinal. They saw a great fight against Rosario Montoya. Mike Tyson comes out, wins one round. They're very happy because the homeboy won, and they've had, you know, they've been treated to a good night of boxing.
How good is Mike Tyson?
Like I said, he's as good as the people he's fighting and as good as he wants to be. He has all it takes. And what I always say, what it takes is what you have on the inside. He has all the qualities, all the attributes to make it to the top. But I think they got to start giving him something to fight. I mean, he's had several one-round opponents. Sure, he is strong. He's jumping on guys, catching them early. But he's got, you know, he's not fighting all world beaters.
Here it is. Tyson in the darker trunks lands a left. Watch closely now.
You can see he's hurting them with them jolting uppercuts. But I just still don't know what hit him.
There will be a Tyson shot that hits him. And they separate. The knockout coming in round one of this heavyweight fight. There it was.
See, that was a quick uppercut that hit him right under the chin. People went, what? See, right there, right there. See, that was a quick uppercut that snapped the head back.
Young, by the way, is up now. Mark Young of Charlotte, North Carolina, whose record is 12-5-1 now. The loser, he is up, he is fine. The winner is Mike Tyson. The local favorite gives a show, and let's go back to the ring.
50 seconds of the first round. Mike Tyson.
The crowd chanting the next heavyweight champion, Mike Tyson. You definitely are going to hear more about him. As if you haven't, he's got...
You know, I've said this before, but, well, here's another person who could stretch Mike Tyson. David Jaco, the white fighter in the dark blue trunks, mixed it with the best. Tony Tucker, Pierre Kutzer. He's knocked out Razor Ruddock. Can't fault this quality of opponent for Mike Tyson. This guy, 19 wins, 15 inside the distance. He can punch, he's durable, he's got height, he's got reach. What can Tyson do? He can attack him, that's what he can. He is no respecter of anything, Mike Tyson. He's young, he believes implicitly in himself, and Jaco will, I promise you, have never faced a human whirlwind like he's having to face in Albany tonight. And he's clipped with the right hand. Lucky he was going back. Wasn't then. Left hand. How many times have we seen that? How many times have I said, Tyson, left hook, down. Well, round one. This is Tyson's 16th fight of the previous 15. 11 inside a round. And this is going to be another one. And this is against a good opponent. No disrespect to David Jaco. That's it. That's all she wrote. No, the referee's letting him go on. I thought he'd stopped it. Tyson thought he'd won. But the end surely can't be far away. The right hook almost dislodges Jaco's head from his shoulders. They should stop this. He's really had enough. Well, they're letting it go on. Jaco's shipping a lot of punishment now. There is no way he is going to win this contest. It's the 11th of January, and if they fought until next New Year, he wouldn't win this fight. It's not if, it's when Mike Tyson wins, and when could be literally any second. He's taken 2 counts. 3, it's all over. He could have stopped that before. Well, the 3 knockdown rule applies. All academic. Tyson wins, fight number 16.
Tyson is built like a fire plug. 10 rounds here in New York State. 3 judges score the fight in rounds. There is a supplemental points system. 3 knockdown rule is in effect. And the ringside physician can stop the fight. Very quickly, Alex, what chance do you give Jesse Ferguson against Mike Tyson? Clearly, none of the 7,600 here in the arena believe he has any.
Ferguson's only chance really is in that left hook that we talked about so much already. The problem for Jesse is he doesn't get that punch off as quickly as Tyson. He doesn't get it to the opponent as quickly as Tyson, and he punches a lot wider than Mike does. And if form holds true, I expect Tyson to come right out at the opening bell, jump on Ferguson from that bell, and I really will be shocked if Mike's power doesn't get Ferguson out of there quickly.
All right, there is Ferguson as he has been introduced. You heard the polite chorus of boos which accompanied the mention of his name, and now he steps to the ring to a louder chorus of boos. And now the place will explode. Of Tyson's 17 fights, many have been here in this area. You wonder what pressure, if any, Tyson experiences at this stage of his career. He has recently been on the cover of national magazines, notably Sports Illustrated and The Ring magazine, a feature in People magazine. At 19 years of age, he has reached a level of eminence previously reserved in recent years only for Olympic gold medalists who came into the sport. He did not win an Olympic gold medal. In fact, he lost in the Olympic trials to Henry Tillman. But of course, professional boxing, an entirely different prospect than amateur boxing, and it has been kind to Mike Tyson. Here we go. He is a fast starter.
One thing we should mention, Jimmy, before the action heats up too much, is this is a 16-foot ring, very much to Tyson's liking.
Starting out, going to the body. A couple of those punches appeared low.
In the Carl Williams fight, we saw Jesse Ferguson go into the corner and onto the ropes and then counter with left hooks off the ropes.
Referee is Luis Rivera out of New York City. And already Ferguson has lasted longer than have some of Tyson's 12 first-round knockout victims. But now, Tyson got an uppercut through the guard.
A major league body puncher. One of the things that distinguishes him, even in the amateurs, Mike Tyson can throw great body shots. He takes what you give him, and right now Jesse Ferguson is just giving him the body.
But Ferguson is standing still and allowing Tyson to swing away at the ribcage.
We saw a few seconds ago one of the things that makes Tyson so special. He threw a tremendous left hook, missed with it, and didn't go off balance. Always in position to punch.
First sign of aggression from Ferguson there, but he went back into the shell.
If form holds true, Jesse Ferguson at some point in that strategy of laying on the ropes will come out firing at the left hook. And if he does, and if he connects with Tyson's chin, we may have one of the questions that surrounds Mike Tyson's career answered.
Come on, step back. Come on, look at go.
Mike Tyson is pacing himself more at this point, Jim. Generally, he would rip punches with both hands without caring about what the opponent did in return. He has some respect for Jesse Ferguson's power. He is not letting his hands go with the speed and consistency that he did in his first 17 fights.
One good left. He seems to be gaining a little bit of confidence. "15 seconds to go in the round. Ferguson about to become the 6th of Mike Tyson's 18 opponents to make it through round 1. We'll be back. We are back and ready for the beginning of round 2 in Troy, New York. Jesse Ferguson stepping out of his corner in the red trunks. The black trunks belong to 19-year-old Mike Tyson. Tyson's average bout to this point in his career lasted 2 minutes 58 seconds.
Ferguson has gone farther than the average Tyson opponent. As I mentioned, only the 6th of 18 men to face Tyson in his professional career to make it as far as round 2. We apologize for the quality of our audio at this moment. We are on our backup audio line. We'll stay with you. Now we're told that it's Tyson getting through the guard again.
And in that one brief combination, you saw the speed of Mike Tyson, the thing that makes him special. Not just power, but he really gets the punch there quickly.
Thus far, Tyson has been content to concentrate mostly on the body.
He hurt Ferguson a little bit with one of those body shots, Jim. Right now, Ferguson's just fighting a survival fight, trying to pull Tyson in close where he can't do it, smother his punches. Tyson, on the other hand, is not being as busy as he normally would be.
Ferguson said that he absolutely would not try to wait Tyson out and drag him into later rounds where he hasn't been before, but it might not be an inadvisable strategy. Tyson only once has been as far as round 5. That was in his most recent bout against Mike Jamison. TKO early in the 5th.
And in that fight with Jamison, which did last into the 5th round, it seemed that Mike got a little bit discouraged. He was in with an opponent that just grabbed him and looked to survive, and he really didn't keep his concentration. Be interesting to see fighting the same kind of opponent here in Ferguson, who's not giving him very many punching opportunities, if he continues to stay on top and keep his concentration and keep in the fight.
Okay. You see that both fighters like to crouch over and get low as they deliver their punches. Their heads are going to be very close together through much of this action. And Jesse Ferguson, fighting defensively, appears to have made it as far as the end of round 2 against Mike Tyson. Round 3. Jesse Ferguson is only the 4th fighter to make it that far with Mike Tyson. Good right. We saw Ferguson recoil to the ropes, but that time Tyson did not attempt to follow up.
Two of the questions that boxing people have raised about Mike Tyson that have yet to be answered are his chin and his stamina. Right now, he's been in 3 tough rounds. Not tough in the sense he's taking a lot of punishment, but he's throwing a lot. And I think the pressure of the event has got to drain something out of him. He is not breathing heavily. He looks in pretty good shape at this point.
You would find almost no one in the arena who believed before this began that it would go to a decision. But if it were to go that far, certainly Tyson has won the first 2 rounds and is controlling the third.
You see quickness in Mike Tyson that really you've never seen with a fighter of his build in the heavyweight division. Of course, Muhammad Ali was quicker. Of course, perhaps Floyd Patterson was quicker, although Customato, who trained and managed them both, said that he believes Tyson may be quick as Patterson. But never a man with that build, with that much power, throwing punches that fast. He has not sustained it in this fight, but in flashes, you have seen what has impressed so many people in his pro career to date.
You mentioned, of course, the relationship to Patterson. Both fighters groomed by the now late Customato. Their physical attributes are so dissimilar that there is really no direct comparison in style between the two fighters.
3 solid right uppercuts by Ferguson, and Tyson did not appear fazed by it. You might be able to see here that the fighters are fighting with 8-ounce Everlast thumbless gloves. The 8 ounces instead of 10 ounces would favor a puncher like Tyson, as would the size of the ring we mentioned earlier, 16 feet 8 inches the ring. The thumbless gloves, mandatory in New York State in non-title fights. That flurry right there by Tyson, he did not sit down on his punches. He threw a lot of punches, but they were, for him, pity-pat punches. He's got to set himself. Once again, those are arm punches.
Coming to the end of round 3. Already is becoming an interesting and educational experience for Mike Tyson, though a fight, like all the others he's been in which to this point he is totally in control. Round 4, and Jesse Ferguson now joins 2 fighters, one named Don Halpin, another named Mike Jamison, as the only 2 men to have made it this far in the professional ranks in the ring with Mike Tyson. In case you have joined us late, the man in the black trunks is the young phenomenon of the heavyweight division, 19-year-old Michael Tyson, originally from Brooklyn, New York, now lives in Catskill, New York. 17 straight knockouts, 12 of them first-round knockouts, coming into this, his toughest test so far.
A few moments ago, Jesse Ferguson looked over to referee Louis Rivera for some help. He just got hit a low blow, as he has been hit a few during this fight. His problem is his trunks are slipping down below his protector.
Now Jesse appears to want to say something to Tyson about the low blows. And the referee warns him not to headbutt Tyson. Beginning to get restless. They would like to see Ferguson fighting a somewhat more offensive effort. Though so far, I have to think he's shown some intelligence, Alex.
Well, he's fought to survive and not to win. He just threw one of the very infrequent left hooks that we touted and has, in fact, been his trademark through his career. He hasn't let the punch go because he's been safety-minded throughout this fight to date. He may be just pacing himself, trying to wait until Tyson tires himself out from all of these home run punches he's throwing, and then looking to come on in the late rounds.
Jim Lapley with Alex Wallow. Ringside, ABC Sports live from Troy, New York. Scheduled 10-round heavyweight fight between Mike Tyson and Jesse Ferguson. Tyson in the black trunks, Ferguson in the red. And coming into this round, Tyson has won all 3 previous rounds with almost dead certainty.
If there is such a thing as dead certainty in the scoring of a boxing match.
And you're here to tell us there isn't, I'm sure. Referee Luis Rivera becoming considerably more active now in this fourth round than he was particularly in the first two rounds of the fight.
Watch your head.
This was the least active round of the fight. Begin round 5. You were with us at the end of round 4. You saw that immediately following the bell, Mike Tyson delivered a right-hand shot to the body of Jesse Ferguson. Ferguson was quite angry about it. Some of you may have seen Ferguson's cornermen jumping into the ring to keep him away from unnecessary extracurricular activity. Whatever the reason, Ferguson has come out more aggressively in round 5 than at any previous time in the fight, beginning to throw that left.
Mike Tyson has not thrown a punch in this round thus far. Ferguson's done all the punching, not much scoring, but he has kept Tyson at bay. As soon as Tyson moves in, he doesn't come in firing. He just stepped in and put his head on Ferguson's shoulder, and Ferguson accepted the clinch until Luis Rivera broke them.
3 weeks ago, Tyson scored a TKO over a fighter named Mike Jamison at 46 seconds of the 5th round in Atlantic City. As of right now, Jesse Ferguson has lasted longer in the ring with the professional Mike Tyson than any of his 17 previous pro opponents. So Ferguson has at least that distinction to carry with him as he attempts to gain confidence as the bout goes on.
It's difficult to judge the motivation of a fighter, but I would say that Mike Tyson is trying to do 2 things here. One, he's trying to pace himself. I think he has some questions about his stamina, and he's trying to get some questions answered here as well. And the second thing he's trying to do is be careful, not to get in the way of one of Jesse Ferguson's left hooks. I think he respects Ferguson, and he's just not going to come in firing, leaving himself open as he was able to do against lesser opponents.
Ferguson, in his 10-round loss to Carl the Truth Williams, a TKO defeat, not a decision, was in trouble in both the first and 10th rounds, and now he's in trouble here. Blood coming out from the nose of Jesse Ferguson. The right uppercut of Tyson has put him down. 6, 7, 8. Up at 9 is Jesse Ferguson.
I think that uppercut broke Ferguson's nose, Jim. He is in desperate trouble. He will not last much longer. Rivera almost stopped it there. Mike Tyson's known as a great finisher. Let's see how he does with Ferguson.
Ferguson gamely hanging in, having trouble covering up. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. And Jesse Ferguson barely made it out of round 5. Crowd is very excited. Blood was spattered around the ring. As I think you're absolutely right, Alex, it appeared that the nose of Jesse Ferguson was broken by the brilliant uppercut. Another look.
Tyson punching from very close quarters. The obvious punch right here is the uppercut. He turns around,
digs right to the body, and then comes straight up with the right uppercut. Tyson has a tendency to turn left-handed. He turned left-handed to land that combination and dropped Ferguson, and I think really just accelerated the pace of the fight, turned the tide, and I don't see how Ferguson can fight much longer in that condition. And landed a devastating right hand.
Beginning of round 6. First time as a professional Tyson's ever been in this round. Ferguson trying to jab.
Every great champion has to know how to finish an opponent when he has him hurt. Jesse Ferguson is hurt. Let's see how Mike Tyson does to take him out.
The left hook did some damage.
Jesse Ferguson not taking the break, holding on to Tyson's left hand. He's just going to hold until Rivera has to absolutely pry them apart. It's not going to be enough for Rivera to say break. He's going to have to get in there and force him apart.
Another left. Delivered in close quarters.
See, Ferguson just is not listening to Rivera at all. He's just going to continue to hold until he just physically forces him out.
Can't say I blame him.
The only thing Rivera can do is what he just did. Give him a warning. And take points away if he continues to do it. Tyson's making a mistake by letting himself get this close to Ferguson. He must maintain a little bit of distance so that he's going to take a point. He's disqualifying him. He disqualified Jesse Ferguson for clinching and refusing to break when ordered. He had warned him earlier in this round. Jesse Ferguson refused to break. The referee, Louis Rivera, disqualified him. And ironically, that breaks Mike Tyson's KO string. That will go down in the books as a win disqualification. It will not be his 18th straight knockout.
One of the dubious distinctions of the year. Jesse Ferguson becomes the first of Mike Tyson's 18 professional opponents not to suffer a knockout. And he did it by almost forcing the referee, Luis Rivera, to disqualify him. 1 minute and 19 seconds of the 6th round. And Mike Tyson's string goes to 18-0, and you saw the explosive punching power, which has made him the talk of the heavyweight division. Let's bring in Mike Tyson right now at this moment. And you can see there the young man who has succeeded once again. Mike, you had to go as far as the 6th round, farther than you have been before as a professional. Were there some moments of frustration during the fight for you?
Because, I never get frustrated because I know we have a 10-round limit. And the crop of heavyweights nowadays having a little difficulty going the full 10 rounds. And the way they have it planned in their mind to beat me is to jab, pot shot, and grab me. But it's 10 rounds, and eventually I'm going to catch them.
Did you approach this fight with a little bit more respect for Ferguson physically, the left hook, than you might have brought into your previous bouts?
Not at all. I was just a little leery because of the lack of experience, but I was surely comfortable when the fight was over. When I came out the ring, I was going to be the winner.
Okay, Alex, we saw once again a sensational performance by Mike Tyson, breaking Jesse Ferguson's nose. What do you have to ask the young man?
Well, I'm just impressed, Michael, that you don't appear winded at all, that you appear to keep your poise, you paced yourself, and you showed that those critics who say, A, that you may have chin problems, and B, you may have stamina problems, you answered those critics to an extent today against a quality opponent.
Well, only thing, I can't change any opinions. I just have to continue fighting and have to change their opinions on themselves. After seeing this performance, perhaps they still have doubts. But eventually, as I go successfully defeating all the contenders and perhaps the champion in the nearby future, then I will have to quiet all doubt. But then still we have a little doubt is then.